Hello again, everybody. Zach Attack is here with the Atakline for this Wednesday, January the 21st, 2015. Hope everyone's having a good week thus far. I made an Atakline since Thursday. And since then, I had a couple gigs. Two of them, yesterday and Monday, and they were both for the Women High School basketball teams. First things first, did a girls' game on Monday against Grosse Pointe North. And that was a fun game. It was a tough game for the girls, and a heartbreaking loss too. They were up by 5, and then they pulled what the Packers did, blew the game in the last 5 minutes. Kind of like what happened in the Seahawks game. They had the lead, and then they lost it within 5 minutes. That's what happened to the girls against Grosse Pointe. Sorry, but still a decent gig. Crowd was a little bit empty. Not as packed as the last girls game, but still decently packed. The boys game last night, different story. The student section was packed for the boys' game. Students, they call themselves the dog pound because Bulldogs, and that's the fan base, the dog pound. They go to the football games and stuff, and they only go to the boys' basketball games. They never go to the girls' games unless it's a doubleheader, which is one next Tuesday. Boys and girls take out Dakota. But it was a single boys' game last night against Warren Mott. And that was a tough game, and the boys won that one. And that was a fun game. We had a dance team. You had cheerleaders the night before. On Monday, you had the cheerleaders come in. They had like a cheer clinic for a bunch of young girls, like little elementary school girls through Parks and Rec. And they had them come out to do cheering during the game. That was kind of cute. And that was Monday. And yesterday was the dance team coming out for halftime. And I like their routines and stuff. It was both games were fun, Good crowd, especially the boys' games. I like the boys' games because of the dog pound showing up and adding more excitement with the chants and stuff. Can only imagine next week. I got a couple boys and girls games next week. As I mentioned, the doubleheader against Dakota, boys and girls. And the next Friday is a game I always look forward to every season. We'll be against Eisenhower, our big rival. It's always the best game. Of all the games I do every year, Eisenhower is always what I have to do. The crowd, it's always sold out to heck. It's our main rival, and the crowd is always insane. It's always a tough, rowdy game against Eisenhower. Can't wait for that next Friday the 30th. But I do have a gig before the games. I got a Splash Bash, first Splash Bash of the year at the Women High School pool on Friday. Now, get on down with the number one for us since I had to make an Atakline on Monday. Number one movie time. Well, making a big debut, bigger than anyone expected. The biggest first week in January in a long time, because January is usually a slow month. But a big opening for the controversial, in many people's eyes, American Sniper, making an estimate about $90 million the first weekend. Crazy. And its national expansion. Actually, $107 million. That's insane. Well, 89, 89 for the weekend. So that's insane. Insane. And its nationwide expansion for the 4-day weekend, it was 107. 3-day weekend, it was 89. While Reading winger with Kevin Hart, pun to pun, got killed. $21 million. Now, reasons why I think American Sniper did so well. 1, nationwide expansion. And it was nicely timed. It was after the Oscar nominations came out, which he got 6 of them. So it made a lot of sense for it to come out during Oscar nom week. And it made more timely with the fact they got some nominations. While Black Hat was the first big bomb of the year, making only $3 million. And those other 2 look stupid. So congrats American Sniper. In its first week of national expansion, making $89 million for the 3-day, $107 for the 4-day. So congrats to them. Now, let's keep up the number ones with Billboard. Well, I said this last Thursday that Meghan Trainor would be likely to kick off Taylor Swift off the album charts like she did on the singles charts when All About That Bass kicked off Shake It Off. That's what happened again. As Meghan Trainor ended the 9-week, non-consecutive week reign of Taylor Swift's 1989, like she did with Shaking Off on the singles charts, kicking her off with Tidal, her debut album, landing at the top spot this week. It's kind of weird to see Meghan Trainor kick off Taylor on the album and singles. You know what I mean? Like I said back in September, all about that bass kicked off, Shake It Off. On the singles charts, now her album kicks off Taylor's album. So Meghan can say she kicked off Taylor 2 times off the top of a pedestal. But while Taylor's still, we have a new number 1 at long last after Taylor's dominance. We have a still number 1 single for the 3rd week in a row. The single that ended Taylor's 2nd dominance after Shake It Off came, of course, Blank Space. It got kicked off by Uptown Funk a few weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, perhaps, should I say. 3 weeks in a row now, Uptown Funk is number 1 on the Hot 100 charts. So there you go with that. Congrats to the Hills. Now, lots and lots of touring news in the last couple of days. Involving a country hottie, a metal band, who's about to go on their final leg of the final tour. But let's kick off with an 80s boy band going back on the road with a couple good openers. New Kids on the Block. I saw them a couple years ago with Backstreet Boys, NKOTB, SB. One of the very first videos was after that concert. I think I showed my laminate that I got from the show on my very first Atakline back in 2011. But now, after 2 years off the road, after the package tour, that's what New Kids have done. Since the NKOTB SB tour, they've learned that they need to get good openers, like to make a good package. Hence, the last tour was the package tour, Boys to Men and 98 Degrees. But now they're going basically 3 decades in one on their tour, The Main Event. You're going to have the 80s, New Kids on the Block. You got the 90s, joining them TLC. And from the 2000s, Nelly will join them. Very eclectic lineup and a very unique in-the-round setup that's unlike anything they've ever done. The tour will kick off May 1st in Las Vegas. It'll be here in Detroit at the Palace on May the 29th. And of course, it'll hit all the big cities. LA, Cincinnati, Chicago, Nashville. It'll also be in Grand Rapids, besides Detroit. Cleveland, Philly, New York. Boston, obviously, they're in Boston. They'll be in Toronto. And I see Georgia, the home state of TLC. And, of course, St. Louis, the home of Nelly. So they hit all the hometowns. Now, besides them announcing, like I mentioned, a metal band set to go on their final leg of the final tour. It's Motley Crue. Now, last year, they embarked on their final tour to be a 2-year tour. Right now, they're about to go on the last leg. Yesterday, they announced the dates for their final tour. The final show ever, their final show will be New Year's Eve in Los Angeles. They've been intending to end their tour and end their career as a touring band in Los Angeles. Maybe to do an extra show at Whiskey A Go Go. But the final show will be at Staples Center. They're going to be in Japan next month, doing a couple shows in Japan. They're about to announce some Australian shows and doing some European festivals. We're going back to America for their final leg of American dates starting on July 22nd in Oregon. All arena shows. Mostly it's been a mix of amphitheaters and arenas, but they're doing mostly arenas, so the entire production, including Tommy's roller coaster solo, will be included. Detroit will be included. They've hit every venue in the state but one. They've been at Vanadale Arena in Grand Rapids. They're at Pine Knob. They're at the Joe Louis Arena. Now they're going to land at the Palace. On my birthday! For the 2nd year in a row, on my birthday. I wasn't able to see him on my birthday last year because it was on a Saturday and I had a gig. But it's on a Sunday. Usually I don't have gigs on Sundays. So I'm going to see Motley Crue for the 3rd time on my birthday as part of their final tour. Saw him in 97 when I was only 9 on the Generation Shrine tour. Saw him a couple years ago with Kiss. And if it was on any other day, I would have said no. But to see Motley Crue on their final tour on my birthday is going to be fucking awesome. Can't wait to see the Crue on my birthday. And other cities will include Chicago, St. Paul, Toronto, Atlanta, Miami. And Alice Cooper will once again be opening for the Crue. But I think he's not doing the Mexican shows or the Texas shows. In Miami, he's not going to be yet. But mostly all the other venues, he'll be there. Once again, opening up for the Crue on the final leg of the final tour. Of course, subtitled All Bad Things Must Come to an End. And All Bad Things, a new song, is out on iTunes. Just came out yesterday. And their album is free. The Greatest Hits album is free on Google Play this week to honor the announcement of their tour. So there you go with that. Now, I also mentioned besides an 80s boy band announcing a tour, a 80s metal band announcing, a country hottie announcing his new tour. Luke Bryan, who's currently finishing up the remaining dates of his That's My Kinda Night tour, that will include Grand Rapids, he's embarking on another tour this May. Kick the Dust Up tour will kick off on May 8th in Grand Forks, North Dakota, and will hit all the big cities, going all the way to October, including 7 stadiums. In Denver, Levi Stadium in California, and it'll end up here in Detroit at Ford Field on October the 30th, day before Halloween. Luke Bryan will be here. He was at Pineapple 2 sellout nights last year. Now he's going up to the stadiums in Detroit. Jason Aldean hasn't done a stadium show in Detroit yet Luke Bryan is. Of course, on all dates of the tour, Luke Bryan will be joined by Dustin Lynch and Randy Houser. But on the stadium shows, especially here in Detroit, he'll be joined by Florida Georgia Line and Thomas Rhett. That's going to be big. He's also doing a stadium in Minnesota. I think he's doing a show in Columbus, and also, obviously, Nashville, Vanderbilt. Other big cities, he'll be in Atlanta, Cleveland, Chicago, Dallas. He's doing a couple double-nighters in some arenas, in some stadiums. He's doing mostly one-nighters in stadiums, but a couple 2 nights in arenas. No ticket sale date yet, but we'll probably get that shortly. So there you go. Luke Bryan heading back on the road, and including a stadium show in Detroit, October 30th. Now on with the Grammys. Luke's been nominated for Grammys a few times, and I think he probably is again. The Grammys are keep adding on performing. People keep on adding performers. With Pharrell, Sam Smith, Usher, and Miranda Lambert being added to the lineup, along with Common and John Legend, to perform Glory, the Oscar-nominated song from Selma, which recently won a Golden Globe. Of course, they'll be joining previously announced performers like Madonna, AC/DC, Ariana Grande, Eric Church, and Ed Sheeran. That means that 3 of the Album of the Year nominees, Pharrell, Sam Smith not being added, along with Ed Sheeran, 3 out of the 5 Album of the Year nominees are performing. We're still waiting word on whether or not Beck and Beyonce are performing. The other Album of the Year nominees that have yet to announce to perform or not. Of course, Grammys on February 8th at the Staples Center, the home of Motley Crue's last show. Now, I shall end with some great, funny TV news. I like Comedy Central. I like some of their shows. I'm a big fan of The Crow Show, Tosh Point, Amy Schumer. I like the new nightly show with Larry Rimble. I saw the first 2 episodes. They were really good. I think he's doing a good job replacing Colbert. He had some big shoes to fill, filling up that time slot, but he's doing it well, even if it's early. I like him. He's gonna do good things on that half hour. From what I've seen, the first 2 should be good. But one of my favorite things on Comedy Central has been their roasts. They haven't done a roast in a couple of years because it sucked. Because they didn't get comedians on the last roast, James Franco. They got these celebrities who said what James Franco wanted them to say. The only real comedian was Jeff Ross, who really roasted his ass. Everybody else was like, "Oh, I love you, James." They didn't roast him, they just kissed his ass. I hope they don't do that for the next subject of the Comedy Central roast, who fucking deserves it. Justin Bieber is getting a roast. I was laughing an entire minute when I found out that Justin Bieber is getting a roast, because he fucking deserves a roast, because his career's dead, and I hope to God they get real comedians to roast his fucking ass. He deserves it. I hope they don't go pussyfooting on him. Hope they don't go soft on him. Hope that Bieber lets them do anything they want. And hope they get some good real comedians, not just celebrities, kissing Justin's ass. Hearing sometime in March. It's going to be airing. No date yet, but I'm hearing March. I've been seeing commercials. Like I said, I watched the Crow Show last night, and they had a commercial during that says Justin Bieber roast in March. So, sometime in March. Justin Bieber roast. He deserves it. That is it for the Atakline for today. Thank you very much for watching. And mind, y'all been attacked by the news from Zach. See you later. Yeah.